Hi students, I am Narayana Prakash. Welcome to FICO Academy online classes. Today's class is the continuation of a reporter speech which I took in the last class. And in the last class we discussed about some tenses like simple present tense, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous. And what will happen if we use these tenses into indirect speech? I mean, simple present tense will become simple past and present continuous will change into past continuous. Present perfect will change into past perfect. Present perfect continuous will change into past perfect continuous. And when we come to simple past tense, simple past tense is the most important one because I have noticed a lot of questions have asked from this simple past tense. I mean, if simple past tense is used in direct speech, simple past comes, you have to use past perfect in indirect speech that we discussed in the previous class. Okay, today we can continue. The second one, past continuous. Past continuous. So, the structure of a past continuous is subject plus was or were plus present participle. Okay, listen. The structure of a past continuous is subject plus was or were plus present participle. Present participle is the ing form of the verb. So, what will happen if a sentence is used in past continuous? You have to change that sentence into indirect speech by past perfect continuous. Okay, you have to use a past perfect continuous. I mean, if a simple past is used in direct speech, you have to change that tense into past perfect. Now, if a past continuous is used in direct speech, you have to change that tense into past perfect continuous. So, what is the structure of a past perfect continuous? Subject plus, had plus, been plus, present participle. Subject plus, had plus. Listen, if a past continuous is used in direct speech, you have to change that past continuous into past perfect continuous in indirect speech. So, past perfect continuous has a formula that is subject plus had plus been plus present participle, and you are familiar with present participle. Present participle is the ing form of the verb. For example, she just said, I was reading a novel. I was reading a novel. She just said, I was reading a novel. That is a sentence. Listen, was, that is the auxiliary verb used here. And if you see the auxiliary verb was, you need to use had been plus ing. Remember, sometimes you can see was in a sentence without ing. Sometimes there may not be the ing form of the verb. And if was is used in past continuous, you have to use had been plus present participle that I told you ing form of the verb. So the sentence, she just said I was reading a novel. So you can easily change she just said that. She just said that. Okay, that is the connection word. You know, I was reading a novel, that is the reporting clause. I was reading a novel, that is the reporting clause. And you have to connect these two clauses together by the connection word, which is the word that. Shija said that. I means Shija. Shija, she. She just said that she. Then we can use a was. We need to use a had been. She had been. She had been. Then reading. She had been reading a novel. She had been reading a novel. Okay. After writing this sentence, you should not use the punctuation mark as in direct speech. In direct speech, we have to use the punctuation marker. So while we write sentences in indirect speech, you are not supposed to use any sort of punctuation marker. So the answer is, she just said that she had been reading a novel. So I shall give you one more example. Another example. John was coming. John was coming. John was coming. He said. John was coming, comma, he said. Listen, in this sentence, the reporting clause is used at the beginning of this sentence. Listen, sometimes, this is the reporting clause. It may be used at the beginning of a sentence or at the end of a sentence. Here it is used at the beginning of a sentence. John was coming, he said. So you can write the answer. He said that. He said that. He said that. John was coming. And you can use John again. He said that John was. What will happen? Was. Had been. Okay, remember. If in direct speech was is used, you need to change had been plus ing. Okay. He said that John had been coming. John had been coming. Okay. Now, past continuous is over. Listen, if in direct speech past continuous is used, you have to change this tense into past perfect continuous. So remember the formula very well. Subject plus had plus been plus present participle. I mean ing. So we can go to the next tense. So which is the next tense? Do you have an idea? Past continuous. Then next one, past perfect. Okay, past perfect, that is the next one, third one. Past perfect tense. Okay, so past perfect tense has a formula. Do you remember the formula of a past perfect tense? Subject plus had plus past participle. Subject plus had plus past participle. So what is past participle? Past participle is the ed or en form of the verb. Past participle is the ed or en form of the verb. Okay. Subject plus had plus past participle, that is the formula of a past perfect tense. So if a past perfect tense is used in direct speech, you can use the same tense in reported speech. I mean same, no change. and there is no any change at all. Do you understand? The tense is past perfect. Past perfect tense is used in direct speech, and while you convert this sentence into reported speech, I mean into indirect speech, you can use the same tense, and I shall give you one example, then you can understand. Ramu said, I had seen him. Ramu said, I had seen him. Yes, Ramu said, I had seen him. I had seen him. I, subject, had, that is the auxiliary verb, seen, that is the past participle. See, first form, so, SAW, so, second form, and seen, that is the past participle, I mean the third form. So, you can use the same tense in indirect speech also, no change. So, the answer is Ramu said that, I means Ramu, so you can use he instead of Ramu. Okay, Ramu said that he had seen him. Okay, now it is quite simple and there is no any change at all, and you can make some changes only in nouns, only on nouns, no change at all. The tense is the same, you can use the same tense, but you can make some changes only in the case of the nouns. And I shall give you one more example. One example, he said, I had completed my work. He said, I had completed my work. He said, I had completed my work. So, you can write, he said that, you can connect these two clauses by the word that. That, it is an introducing word. He said that I means he. He said that he, then the same sentence, he had completed my work. There is a mistake, not my work, his work. Okay, he said that he had completed his work. Okay, what you understand about past perfect? And if you use past perfect in direct speech, you change the tense into, while you change this tense into reported speech, you don't need to make any changes in the tense. You can use the same tense in indirect speech also. You can just look on the board, you can easily understand. In direct speech we used the past perfect tense, and in the indirect speech what we did, we used the same tense, but we made some changes in the case of nouns. Okay, now that is over. Past perfect continues, past perfect. Then next one, past perfect continues. Fourth one, past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous. So, what is the formula for past perfect continuous? You studied it just now. Just now you studied past perfect continuous. Okay, subject plus had plus been plus present participle. Subject plus, had plus, been plus present participle. Present participle is the ing form. Present participle is the ing form of the verb. Subject plus, had plus, been plus present participle. So you can use the same tense in reported speech also. Same tense. Same tense. Okay, subject plus, had plus, been plus present participle. No change. You understand? I mean, if a past perfect continuous is used in direct speech, you can use the same tense in indirect speech also. I mean, reported speech also. And I shall give you one example. Raju said, I had been watching a movie. You know, a nice sentence it is. Raju said, I had been watching a movie. You know, had been, past perfect continuous. Raju said, I had been watching a movie. So you can easily change this sentence into indirect speech. Why? Because you can use the same tense. No change. The answer is Raju said that I had been. Who is I? Raju. I means Raju. So you can use he again. You can use he instead of Raju. Already we wrote Raju, so you can write he. He had been watching a movie. He had been watching a movie. Do you understand? It is quite simple. Past perfect continuous. And you can use the same past perfect continuous in indirect speech also. I mean reported speech. But you need to make some changes in the case of nouns. And here Raju said that. And I. Who is I? Raju. So you don't need to repeat Raju again. Instead of that, you can write he. Raju said that he had been watching a movie. And I shall give you one more example. She said, I had been helping my mother. She said, I had been helping my mother. Very simple. You can do like this. She said, I had been helping my mother. So the answer is, she said that I means she. So you can use she. She said that she had been helping my mother. Wrong. Her mother. That is the answer. She said that she had been helping her mother, not my mother. The answer is her mother. She said that she had been helping her mother. Okay. So what do you understand about past tense? You know, I shall summarize again. You know, in direct speech, simple past tense is used. What will you do? You can use that tense into past perfect. You know, remember, it is very important. Generally, I have seen Some questions will be asked from the section of a simple past tense. You want to change a simple past tense into past perfect. You should remember that. The next comes the past continuous. Subject plus was or were plus ing. So, if a past continuous is used in direct speech, you need to change that sentence into which tense? Past perfect continuous. I mean subject plus, had plus, been plus, present participle. Then come to present perfect. You can use the same tense in reporter speech. Then past perfect continuous. You can use the same tense in reporter speech. I hope you understood. So, now we can come to talk about modal auxiliaries. You already understood what kind of changes will happen on auxiliary verbs while we change a sentence into reporter speech. I mean, is will become was, and has will become had, and this kind of changes are happening while we change a direct speech into indirect speech. Now, you want to study future tenses. You learned three future tenses: simple future, future continuous, and future perfect. And two auxiliary verbs are there in future tense. Do you have an idea what are the two auxiliary verbs we use in future tense? Will or shall. Don't forget that. We can use only two auxiliary verb in future tense. They are will and shall. Okay, we can study that. And what will happen if will or shall comes in direct speech? You know, they are called the modal auxiliary verbs. In fact, there are three types of auxiliary verbs. The first category is called primary auxiliary verbs. And again there is three division: be form, that means is, am, are, was, were. They are called be form. It has got another name, be family. And the second category is called do family. I mean do, does, did. They are called do family. And the third one is called have family. I mean has, have, and had. They are called primary auxiliary verbs. Do you understand? Primary auxiliary verbs have three divisions: be form, do form, and have form. And the second type is called modal auxiliary verbs. Modal auxiliary verbs means will, shall, would, should, can, could, may, might, etc. They are called modal auxiliary verbs. And the third category, I mean the last category, is called semi-modal auxiliary verbs. Semi-modal auxiliary verbs. They are used to, dare, need, ought to, etc. I think that I have spoken about this in many classes. So you should be careful. I mentioned these three categories of auxiliary verbs in many of our previous classes. Okay, come to the point. I am going to use these modal auxiliary verbs. One is will. Okay, what will happen if we use a will in direct speech? You can simply say that will change into would. Okay, correct answer, will become would. And I shall give you one example. Biju said, I will work hard. I will work hard. Biju said, I will work hard. A simple sentence. Biju said, I will work hard. I will work hard. That is the sentence. So the answer is, what kind of change you need to make? This will change into would. That is the only change. Okay. So the answer is, Biju said that I. Who is I? Biju. So you can use a he. Biju said that he would work hard. He would work hard. Okay. Biju said that he would work hard. The answer is very simple. I mean, while you come to future tense, you need to change will into would and shall into would. Generally, there is a concept whether will or shall is used in direct speech. You need to use only would. That is the idea, that is the concept. But if you write any PSC examination or any other examination, you need to change will into would, shall into should. You understand? In spoken English, if will or shall is used in direct speech, you can use would in reporter speech. That is the condition, because shall, would and should, they have different meanings. Would, while you use the modal auxiliary verb would, which expresses the politeness, we use the would to express the politeness. For example, would you like tea? Would you like tea? It expresses politeness. But whereas if we use a should, which expresses the compulsion, that is the difference between the application of would and should. Would expresses the politeness, whereas should expresses the compulsion. For example, you should study hard, compulsion. You should work hard, compulsion. You should wear your uniform, compulsion. Do you understand? I mean, that is the difference between should and would. So generally in spoken English, if a shall or will is used in direct speech, we can easily change them into would. If a shall is used, you can write would, or if a will is used, again you can write would. No problem at all. But in the case of a PSC examination or any other competitive examinations, there is a law. If will is used, you should use would only. If a shall is used, you should use only should only. That is the condition. Okay, and we can do another one, shall. Okay, very simple. And shall becomes what? Shall becomes a should. Okay, and I shall give you one example. Raju said, I shall write the exam. Raju said, I shall write the exam. I shall write the exam. Raju said, I shall write the exam. So the answer is simple. You can write, Raju said that. Raju said that. Yes. I means Raju. So you can write he. He shall becomes should. He should write the exam. He should write the exam. Raju said that he should write the exam. That is the answer. And generally I tell you, while you write this kind of sentence, or while you talk this kind of sentence, you can write or you can talk, Raju said that he would write the exam. Here shall is used, but don't worry, you can use would here, no problem. But as it is a PSC or competitive examination, you need to write should, because shall is used, so that you should use should here. Okay. Raju said, I shall write the exam. So the answer is, Raju said that he should write the exam. Okay. Then next auxiliary verb, can. Can. The third modal auxiliary. The third modal auxiliary verb, that is can. Yes, when you can use can, and what is the purpose of using the modal auxiliary verb can? It expresses the ability. You know, I can speak, I can swim, I can drive a car, which expresses the ability. Okay. So this can will become could in indirect speech. Very simple. This can will change into could in indirect speech. So I shall give you one example. Deepu said, I can go there. Deepu said, I can go there. Deepu said, I can go there. You know, very simple, you can find the answer easily. Deepu said, I can go there. This can will change into could. You know, anybody can say the answer. So the answer is, Deepu said that. Deepu said that. And I means Deepu. So you can't repeat Deepu again. Instead of that, you can write the noun he. Deepu said that he could go. He could go. And some students, you know, they may change go. They will write the past form of go and they will write went. The answer will be wrong. You know, you can change only can into could. That is the theory. And you don't need to make any change on verb. You can write the same verb. Okay. So the answer is, Deepu said, I can go there. Deepu said that he could go. Deepu said that he could go. Okay. And another example, sorry, not another modal auxiliary verb, may. Okay. What is may? It expresses possibility. You understand? Can expresses ability, can expresses ability, and may expresses possibility. So the past form of may is might. May will change into might. I shall give you one example. Ram said to me, you may pass the exam. Ram said to me, Ram said to me, you may pass the exam. You may pass the exam. Okay. Ram said to me, you may pass the exam. You may pass the exam, that is the reporting clause. You may pass the exam, that is the reporting clause. So, Ram said to me, you know, it is very important, you should listen carefully. Said to will change into told. You don't need to use the said to. And instead of a said to, or in the place of said to, you can write told. Okay, remember it very well. This type of sentence will be asked in the examination. So you should keep it in mind. Said to will change into told. Ram told me that Ram told me that. Ram told me that. Told me. Okay. Ram told me that you may pass the exam. You may pass the exam. Told me that you may pass the exam. You means I. You know, we are reporting this sentence to another person. We are reporting this matter to another person. So, you will become I. Ram told me that I may. May will change into might. Okay. Ram told me that I might pass the exam. I might pass the exam. Very simple it is. And while you change a sentence from direct speech into indirect speech, you read the sentence carefully. In fact, you will get simple sentences in exam. Don't expect huge sentences, big sentences. You will get only simple sentences. And most probably you will be confused. For example, in the case of said to, you will write that Ram said to me that. Ram said to me that. You know, your answer will be wrong. So, in the place of said to, you can use told. Ram told me that. You know, that will change I. That will change into I. Ram told me that I might pass the exam. May will change into might. Okay. Next one, must. Another modal auxiliary verb, must. You know, must is very important. What will happen? Must comes in direct speech. Okay, must. So, this must will change into had to. That is important. You know, you may not have any idea if must is seen in your question paper. If must is used in direct speech, you can change the same must into had to. I shall give you one example. Suresh said to me, you must obey your parents. You must obey your parents. You know, read the sentence carefully. Though you know the answer very well, first of all, read the sentence carefully before answering. Perhaps, you know, you may make a slight mistake. That's why I tell you, before answering a question, you read the sentence carefully. Suresh said to me, you must obey your parents. Do you know the answer? Suresh said to me, you must obey your parents. And here the same problem is repeated. Said to, the same problem. And said to will change into told. Okay, Suresh told me. Okay, Suresh told me. Then we have to use the connecting word. Which is the connecting word? That. Suresh told me that. And you. Suresh told me that. Me. Suresh told me that. And you means I. Suresh told me that I must. Must, you know, you need to use a had to. In the place of must, you need to use a had to. So the answer is, Suresh told me that I had to obey your parents, not your parents. I had to obey my parents. Okay, I had to obey my parents. So that's why I tell you, read the sentence carefully and understand the meaning, otherwise you may make a mistake. I repeatedly say that, read the sentence carefully, understand the meaning, otherwise you may make mistake. So the answer is, Suresh told me that I had to obey my parents. Okay, that is must. And you need to, now it is over. This section is over. What will happen while we use the modal auxiliary verbs in reported speech? I mean, will change into would, shall will change into should, can will change into could, shall will change into should, can will change into could, then may will change into must, may will change into might, and must will change into had to. Very simple, you want to remember all these things. And there are some other important conditions you want to remember. And some important conditions are there. Some important conditions. Listen, if the reporting verb is in present tense or simple future. Listen, there is a sentence, and in that sentence the reporting verb is used in present tense or future tense. You don't need to make any changes in the tense. You will be confused. Let me show you the example, then you can easily understand this condition. Okay, I shall give you the example first, then I will explain. He says, I am sorry. This is an example of a direct speech. He says, I am sorry. This is an important condition you want to remember. He says, I am sorry. This is a direct speech. So what I am trying to say that, here says is used as a reporting verb. Listen, says is used as a reporting verb. If the reporting verb is used in simple present tense or simple future tense, you don't need to change the tense in indirect speech. I tell you the same sentence again. If the reporting verb, says is the reporting verb, says is the reporting verb, and which tense is used here? He says. Which tense is used here? Simple present tense. You just turn your pages of your notebook and you can understand about simple present tense. In simple present tense, there is one condition. If the subject is singular, we should use s or es or ies along with the main verb. That is the condition. So he says. Says is the reporting verb. Here it is used in simple present tense. This reporting verb is used in simple present tense. And if the reporting verb is used in simple present tense, you don't need to change the tense. You can use the same tense here. So the answer is, he says that I means he says that he, and can you use the am after he am? Nobody will say. So you can write he says that he is sorry. So, this is reporter speech. Okay, do you understand the condition? Remember this condition very well. If the reporting verb is used in simple present tense or simple future tense, you don't need to make any changes in the reporter speech. You can use the same tense. Now, I gave you the example of a simple present tense, and says is the reporting verb. And which tense is used here? It is in simple present tense. So, the reporting verb is used here in simple present tense. So, you don't need to make any change here. You can use the same tense. So, the answer is he says that he is sorry. And I will show you one more example. He will say, I can teach English. I can teach English. Direct speech. He will say, I can teach English. Listen, will say. What does mean will say? Will say is the reporting verb. Will say is the reporting verb. And which tense it is? Will say? Simple future. Okay, simple future. And you are familiar with the structure of a simple future. The structure of a simple future is subject plus will or shall plus first form of the verb. Subject plus will or shall plus first form of the verb. That is the structure of a simple future. I mean, here will say is used as the reporting verb. Here it is a simple future tense. So, you don't need to make any change here. While you write this sentence into reporter speech, you can write the same sentence. Okay, the answer is he will say that, I means he can teach English. He can teach English. Not he could teach English. Perhaps you may write he could teach English. No, he can teach English. It is dependent on the reporting verb. The answer is dependent on the reporting verb. Do you understand the condition? The condition is that if the reporting verb is used in simple present tense or simple future tense, please look on the board. If the reporting verb is used in simple present tense or in simple future tense, you don't need to make any change. You can write the same sentence there. Okay, there will be some variations on nouns. You can use the same sentence, no tense change. Okay students, I shall summarize again what we took today. So today we talked about past continuous. First we talked about the past continuous. And this past continuous will change into past perfect continuous. Then past perfect will change into past perfect only. Then past perfect continuous will change, you can use the same tense in reporter speech. You understand? I mean, first simple past. The simple past will change into past perfect. Second one, past continuous. Past continuous will change into past perfect continuous. Past perfect, the same tense. Past perfect continuous, you can use the same tense in reporter speech. Then we studied some modal auxiliary verbs. Will change into would, shall change into would, can change it into could, may change it into might, must change it into had to. And I already told you the most important condition. Some general conditions are here. First condition is that if the reporting verb comes in simple present tense or simple future tense. If the reporting verb comes in simple present tense or simple future tense, you can use the same tense in reporter speech. Remember the sentence, remember the condition. If the reporting verb comes in simple present tense, if the reporting verb comes in simple present tense or in simple future tense, if the reporting verb comes in simple present tense or in simple future tense, you can use the same tense in reporter speech. For example, he says. Says is the reporting verb. Which tense it is? Simple present. So the answer is he says that he is sorry. That is reporter speech. He will say, that is simple future. And the answer is that he will say that he can teach English. Perhaps you may write could. No, you are not supposed to write could in that place. I mean, the answer is dependent on the reporting verb. You understand? The answer is dependent on the reporting verb. If the reporting verb comes in simple present tense or simple future tense, you don't need to make any tense change. You can use the same tense. Okay? Thank you very much for listening my class. And next day we can continue.
5Co Academy, first floor, PV Complex, Civil Line Road, West Fort, Thrissur. Phone 9946 999 460, 9946 999 461.